the volumes. I was telling these guys of the levels of leadership, the selfless leadership that you display, that the company has, and how we're all here to help people out. So I don't want to waste, your valuable time. Matt, I know you're a athlete too, right? I was looking at your Instagram. What sport did you play? Football?
I played football, basketball, golf, baseball.
Oh man, look at when this COVID stuff lifts, I got your flight here to California. I got your hotel. You got to come. I'm in one of our classrooms. This is at our facility here. These are where the kids come to school. Right now, they can't come in here, obviously. But right now, I have 15 professional baseball players in the other room hitting right now.
Really?
So I got to invite you out here to come check this out. But with that being said, guys, man, Matt, why don't you just explain the cash trap, how it works? I know some of the questions Gabriel and Janice, they had were really about cash trap. I don't know if you want to start with the questions or do you want to start, how would you want to start this?
Let me just kind of run through it because I'm guessing some of the things that I'm going to run through might answer some of the questions. And then if there's questions at the end, I can answer them.
Perfect.
A lot of the times I'll run through stuff and then people will be like, oh, yeah, that answers all my questions.
Okay, perfect.
So a trade on USD JPY just came out. I was just on the Argentina call. I took two of them. So just to kind of show you guys, basically the results. So 1925.34. So that was, let's see here. It's 20:02. So that was, 30 minutes ago. It's kind of towards the beginning of a call. So basically I took a trade at 1925.34 and it was for 3 minutes and I had to roll it over once. So it was a USD JPY sell. It was a put. I got in at 109 and it cleared at 107. So it was close. So I want you to remember that. I want you to remember that that was a close trade. And I'm going to explain why it was a close trade. Same thing with the next one. It was actually even closer. It was not that great. But I cleared them. And it's all due to how many points come from the strategy itself. So here's what happened. The first sell came on USD JPY through the cash trap. Now, if you just follow the arrows, on cash trap itself, with no prior knowledge, with no understanding how the strategy works, but just the arrows. I was the one that put in the details for the arrows to come up. So they asked me like, where would you take trades? So the arrows come up where I would potentially, if I was doing a session, I would call out a trade. Now, these are just good trades. These are 7 out of 10 are going to win. These are just kind of, it should go up here, it should go down here, but they're not 5-point trades. So 3 trades are just good trades. 4 points are great trades, and 5 points are amazing trades. Now you can get more points than that, but I just stick to 5. So an arrow to me is 3. So right now on USD JPY, we have a down arrow. So that's 3 points. But you have to look at the rest of the strategy to take your 7 out of 10 to 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Because once you understand it, it can help you. So a down arrow is a put. And just try to understand this too. When you're trying to trade, guys, the object is to put at its highest point and to call at its lowest point. So even though this might be saying sell right now, if you move your mouse to the arrow, the top of the arrow is the entry point for the put. The bottom of the up arrow is the entry point. So right now it's saying put at 126 on USD JPY. Right now, price on the platform is at 128. But let's just look back 30 seconds. It's gone to 139. So instead of just immediately being like, oh man, it's better than what it's saying right now. Well, just use your peripherals and say, okay, well, if it goes back up to at least 139 or 136, that's where I'm gonna take the put. And then, it does help to have TradingView up. And I'm trying to get them to add this, but just to simply add this countdown timer. If they can implement this countdown timer right here, guys, it will help you tremendously. So right now there's 4 minutes left. So I would take this trade right now. I do believe that, oh man, it's only for a minute. Hold on. So you know what? I'll go ahead and I'll take a 3-minute trade. So that's exactly where I would want to take it as 139, not this 130. So let me just, it's only for $10. So I did the 138. And the reason for this is because, one, I have 3 points because of a down arrow. If I go to the currency strength meter, the Japanese yen right now is stronger than the US dollar. So that adds a point. That's 4 points. Because if we look at the market, right now we're looking at USD versus JPY. 1 US dollar is equaling this amount of Japanese yen. So if the Japanese yen is stronger, it should take less yen to acquire that dollar. So that first $10 trade that I just took, it's not where I wanted it. I didn't want it for a minute. If I would have taken it for 3 minutes there, I would have just rolled it over. So the way rollover works, guys, if you have this platform, is for 3/4 of the time you can roll it over if it's not in profits. Within a quarter of the rest of the time, you cannot roll it over anymore, because those are the rules. That's how it works. So right now, I have so I look up here at the clock, 7:02, I expire at 8:42, so I have about 1 minute and 42 seconds. So in about 30 seconds, I'm gonna decide whether I wanna roll this over or not, and then just extend it 3 more minutes. I always lean on more time. So since it did shoot up like that, I am gonna roll it over just to make sure that I have enough time for this to breathe. But 3 points for a down arrow. So those 2 trades I took on the Argentina team, I took 3-point trades. 3-point trades are going to be pretty close. They're not that great of trades. They're good trades, but they're not great trades. So you might get an entry at, let's say, so I took this at 138. It might clear at 131, 130, 135. It might, hover in and out because it's just a three-point trade. If you can get 4 points, 5 points, you're going to have better odds. So with this, we have 3. With the currency strength, we have about 4. These are not crossing down yet, so those don't count as points yet. Now, if it doesn't show up, that means there's no trade setups. The only time it's going to come up is when there's a trade setup. So like right now on Euro USD, there's an up arrow, there's a cross up, almost crossed up. The euro though is not stronger than the US dollar. So 3, 3.5, this is not crossing up yet. So that's not a point yet. And then you have to take one away. So really we're at 2.5 points. That's not really enough to take that trade yet. So I wouldn't take that yet. I wouldn't take Euro USD because I'm only at 2.5 points. I gotta have 3 points to be able to take the trade solely off this strategy. But you can see USD JPY, like I said, it's about 4 points. So it's close, but it should go the way that, we think it's going to go. Still got the down arrow. Looks like it's calling out still in this 30s range. So I may roll this over one more time. I have a rule. I only roll over 3 times. 3 times max. And you want to start your trades anywhere from 1 to 3%. The max you're willing to risk, though, is 5% on any trade. And that's including rollovers. Because you should be able to win 7 out of 10. 8 out of 10, the market's moving really good for you. The strategy's working. 9 out of 10, like the last 8 weeks, guys, I've called out 73 wins now and 18 losses over the last 8 weeks. It's just been incredible. And it's just because the market's working. The market's working with the strategy. Everything's kind of coming together. This is looking like it's going to need one more rollover. So 11:42, it's 10. I'll probably wait 15 more seconds to see if this thing tanks. Moved up a little bit more. Let me see something here. I mean, this is pretty set up, but I'm gonna buy myself 6 minutes. So your first rollover is the time that you selected. Your second rollover, it doubles. So now instead of just 3 minutes, now I'm getting 6 minutes. And if I roll it over again the third time, instead of 6 minutes, I'm gonna get 12 minutes. And every single time I'm paying an additional 30%. So that's why you want to start with a little bit lower risk at those points. Now here's a cheat code. If you look at the DXY here, guys, the dollar index can help you a lot while you're trading. So since I'm trading the US dollar in a lot of my pairs, it's very nice to know what the dollar is going to do. So to me, it looks like the dollar is about to just go down. So I'm going to add that in Cash Trap eventually. I just don't want to overwhelm people. But the DXY does help a ton. So if you know how to mark up your charts, like if you know how to put in, your supports, your resistances, your trend lines, things like that, and you know how to read the market, that can put a lot of the odds in your favor. Now, a lot of the times I have that up in the background where my calls can't see that. So I have it over here on my right-hand side, and I'm watching the DXY while I'm trading so I can kind of understand, like, okay, so the dollar's probably going to lose some strength here coming up. So if I'm in a rollover, let's say I'm one rollover deep, two rollovers deep, I want to know what's going on with the dollar. What's going on? Where's my supports? Where's my resistance levels? What trend is this in? I'm always trying to trade with the trend. See, when I started, guys, in the very, very beginning, if you go back to some of my very first sessions, I used to be so diligent. I used to mark up my trend line, my support, my resistance. I used to do everything super thoroughly. But then I developed my strategy that gave me those things, and that it aided me in trying to find entries. And I've had amazing, amazing results by just using the strategy. But when the market's difficult, I have to go back to those. So if I have a 3 for 5 session, right, and then I come back and maybe I have another 3 for 5 session, to me, that's horrible. I don't ever want to go 3 for 5. We should profit on a 3 for 5 night. But if I'm doing that, I need to go back to the basics. I need to go, okay, what trend is the USDJPY in? And then I'm only going to focus on one pair. I'm only going to focus on USDJPY because that's where the majority of my money's been made, because it usually stays pretty true to my strategy. So it's very beneficial to just go on TradingView, go to USDJPY, and just start marking up from the 4-hour and marking up different support resistance levels and just trying to figure out, where is this going? What is this doing? If the market tends to not be going in the way that you want it to go. But strategy-wise, it's pretty simple. You get an arrow, that's 3 points. You get a cross down, this equals 1 point. Both of these do, each one a half. So if you get one, you're only getting a half. If you get both, you're getting a full point. And then the currency strength meter is my other point that I use. So there's added points with the Bollinger Bands and the EMA and stuff like that. But I try to keep things super, super, super simple for the average person to be able to learn. So hopefully that helped a little bit. Hopefully that answered some questions.
Absolutely, that did. I know, some of the confusion was on, and you answer that up all the time. Some people are like, man, cash trap seems down. I see people that go, no, it only is going to work when it has a signal, right? It's only going to show up.
And if the market is being weird, it just doesn't put out trades, because I had to put in like the market conditions of when I trade. So I don't want arrows popping up when I wouldn't even be taking trades. So it gives people confidence to say, okay, if I see it, it should be at least a good trade setup. But then you can kind of do just a little bit back, because it will give you an arrow sometimes, even when sometimes I might not take that trade. But I'm telling you guys, 70% of the time you should win arrow trades.
Yeah, today I did for sure. Absolutely, I did. Janice, I know you had a question. Janice, are you still on this Zoom, Janice?
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
Maddie, in the beginning, you talked about the countdown on the candle. So
Yeah.
do you have like a certain amount of time you want on that candle and the countdown before looking at, do you have like at least 3 minutes left on the candle or what?
No, so it doesn't matter how much time is left when I'm taking the trade, but when I'm in a trade and I might be rolling something over, or I might be buying myself more time, I want to know, according to what I'm doing, where that candle's at. So what I'm trying to say is, let's say I'm in a USDJPY trade for 3 minutes, and I notice that I only have 1 minute and 30 seconds left to my trade, but the candle has 3 minutes and it went the wrong way initially. I'm going to roll that over to get me into that next candle, because I know that I'm going to need at least 4 minutes to get me into that next candle to either push it down or push it up.
Okay.
And that's something that you're going to learn as you're feeling it out. And as you're binary trading, you're going to start to realize, okay, I know how much time I have left. And I do 3 minutes because that's normally either ending me at the end of the candle or the middle of a candle. And that's when I like ending, because when I'm seeing my trade setups, it's usually when it's either going to go the other way that I'm seeing. If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
2 minutes is too short. 5 minutes is too long. 3 minutes just seems to kind of be that sweet spot.
Okay. Gabriel Mayer, I know you had a question too, right? You're muted.
When it comes to the arrow, right? I see the fluctuation in the entries at times on Cash Trap. So just to clarify, and you touched it, I'm miswriting it down. With the arrow, the bottom of the arrow is where we would want the entry. What would be the top?
On a put.
Yep.
So like right now it's given a call arrow, right?
Uh-huh.
So I wouldn't take this though, because we have 2 indicators that are in sell areas. So I got to take a point away from that.
Right.
So that's, instead of having 3, now I only have 2. And if I look at the currency strength meter,
Yeah.
the JPY is still stronger than US dollar. So that takes me down to 1 point right now on this call arrow.
Yep.
Now, even though you may win it, but I'm telling you guys, normally you're not going to win those. So this trade right here, it took me 2 rollovers, right? I'm still in that 138 trade. Now it's finally in profit, and it's actually going deeper and deeper and deeper into profit. But it's still a win. It never lost. I just had to roll it over twice.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's not going to be the entry that we see on on the alert panel, right?
No, I never look at those.
Okay.
I'm usually looking at the Bollinger Bands, like I'm putting my mouse like where the Bollinger Bands are, my resistance levels.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the arrow, and I'm looking at all those things, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, where is the best entry? But then even then, guys,
Yeah, you cleared that.
I'm still looking at the platform, and I'm saying, okay, where has it gone to on the platform? Because the platform's all that really matters.
Right.
You know, what is this company? What is Vita Forex? Where are they lined up? Because even though it might say some number on this, I need to have it reflected on this. Did anybody take that USD JPY trade and clear with me?
I cleared it with you.
Yeah, we did.
I did too.
This is Brandon. We did clear the trade, but bro, I'm sick and tired of you being the GOAT making yearly salaries on these trades, man. It's starting to piss me off.
So people ask me all the time. They're like, "Man, you do these calls and you know, it's crazy. You'll just jump on and you'll just teach people." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I'm trading also on these calls. Like, I'm trying to make money. I just made 28,000 on a 10-minute call.
That's so crazy.
I'm cool with it."
Dude, Matt, I mean, the reality, Matt, is, you know, these calls that you're doing, they do cost you time and money because it costs you energy. You know, according to what I've seen so far, you're worth at least $100,000 an hour. So you should be trading live on these to not waste your time.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I was telling Joseph. I mean, guys, and I got asked this the last session. How many hours a day do you take on learning and trading? And guys, I'm different than everybody. I only usually trade for 1 hour. If I'm giving my time to trades and calls during the day, that's taking energy from me at the 10 o'clock call. I like to show up completely refreshed, not even looking at the charts, not studying anything. I like to look at the market as is. I don't like looking and watching it all day long. I want to I want to do my analysis. I want to see the trades, and I want to trust my strategy and my analysis at that time. Because as soon as I overthink it, as soon as I lose a trade, I got to stop, because it affects the future trades that I might see. You know, there's times where, like, I hate losing. I'm so freaking competitive. It's insane. And that's why I think I've been able to have success even in network marketing, is because I see people around me rank up. And if I got started around the same time as someone, if they're ranking up, oh man, it's eating me alive. But so I'm always trying to rank up before them. But that's the same thing in trading. If I'm trading and I'm going, let's say 3 for 5 or 4 for 5 or 4 for 6, man, it is just eating me alive. The only thing that keeps me sane is that people in the chat are saying they're 5-0, 4-0. Then I'm like, all right, I can breathe. But I am so competitive, and you know, doing calls and stuff during the day, it does take some of that energy away. But this was super easy, so this is nothing. This is no big deal.
Matt,
Hey, Matty.
go ahead, guy.
Hey, Matty, it's Charles. I'm fairly new to the game. The bottom 2 indicators are what on the Cash Trap?
You're asking what they are?
Yeah.
One is the RSI and one is the stochastic. Now I have settings set up specifically for my type of strategy. So if you just type in RSI and stochastic, it's gonna be different settings, but yeah, I have specific ones for that. I can't devote the details on any of the settings stuff because I sold it to IM Mastery Academy and it's kept by them. So I personally can't give it out.
No, yeah, that answers my question for sure. I definitely been watching you and following you on all your YouTube, on all your social media platforms, and yeah, I have mine preset to your settings as well. So yeah, thank you.
Cool.
Matty Pips, my last question is, when you do your chart markups, are you doing them on the day, the hour, or the 4 hour?
So let me give you guys a quick 10-second little mindset training on how I see the market. Mine might be different than some educators, but what I like to do, since I'm a binary trader, I need to know what's going on today, what's going on right now. I don't care what happened a week ago. I care what is going on right now. So I start at the day and I just look at this candle and I look right now. I say, okay, cool. This candle's red. It's been going down all day long, but let me see total what's been going on. So I'll mark out the top. It's gone up to the top. That's my resistance. And then at the bottom is my support. So for the entire day, it's not broken those levels. So when I zoom in now, I like to know, okay, what's going on here? I'll mark that resistance, that support, and then I'll mark up that resistance also. And then I'll go down to the 4 hour because then it breaks up that candle into 4 hours. And I like to say, okay, well, it's easy to know this. It's definitely in a downtrend so far, but it did hit a technical support level sometime today and we respected off of that. So, you know, basically it's been going down, but it did hit a support and it did not break that level. So maybe it hit for me a certain level of support that it's not going to break in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put another support line there at the end of the red candle and the beginning of the blue candle.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go down to the hour and I'm just going to kind of paint the picture. I'm going to paint what's going on today. And I'll start now. I'll mark up this uptrend towards the trend line because that is where it's going right now. And that's what it's doing. It went down, but now it's going up.
Yeah.
And then what I'm doing is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to mark up different support levels. Looks like that was a support level. Looks like that was a support level.
Yeah.
And these support levels are higher than the previous support levels. So that kind of does indicate to me that now it's kind of flowing up. So if I'm about to take a trade right now, well, what do I know? That it's been flowing up. So why would I take a put? Like, why would I be looking for a put right now? Unless I continue to go down to, let's say, the 30-minute, and it tells me a different story. Well, which it does. At the 30-minute, it tells me it just hit a line of resistance, and now it could be going down.
Yeah.
The most recent is that it hit a resistance. So I'll mark in these, and I'll say, okay, these are 3 different resistance levels that it's gone to. And then these guys, they match up with my strategy. So when I'm marking these things up here, it looks crazy, but it works.
Sense.
It really, really works. Because now when I go down to this 5-minute and I put this in here, oh man, this tells me right here, if it comes down to right here, I'm going in for a call. We got this all lined up. We got it right there at the middle band. We got the call feature. If it comes up here and it's all lined up for a sell, I'm taking that for a sell. And that's how I've been able to go 100%. Is because of those little things that I can see.
Nice.
Huge.
Cool.
That's huge, man. Is there any more questions, guys? We've been on this call for now going on 25 minutes. I don't want to take up too much more of Matt's time. I know he's got
I think Canales had a
training
question.
session tonight, and I know he's going to probably do some calls with his team today. So I don't want to waste any more time. Do we have any more questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Andy Canal, I got a quick question.
Okay, Andy, and then Rodney, and then we're done. All right, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Well, hey, Matthew, first and foremost, man, I appreciate you for taking time out your busy schedule and pouring into us, man, and giving us your value and definitely being able to dive in and allowing us to be able to get a better insight on what we got going on here with this cash trap, man. So I appreciate that, first and foremost, 1,000%. And I just had a quick question regarding with the actual, so the currency strength bars. What I noticed is that obviously, you know, sometimes there's currency stronger than the other. If there happens to be a call or a trade that's being called out on the cash trap, like let's say for example, I'm actually logging into my cash trap right now, but it says that let's say for example it calls out a trade for US or for EJ, right? Let's say it calls out for EJ on a buy, but right here it's saying that the currency strength is the euro would be a little bit lower than the Japanese yen. So with that, how much do you feel of an impact does that affect the actual previous confirmations for the trade? Like let's say it's obviously the arrow, and then with the confirmations as well. How much of an impact do you feel that the strength meter does with the trading?
Oh, well, the currency strength meter to me is just another confirmation. It's another point. So it, like I said in the very beginning, I have to have 3 points in order to take a trade.
Right.
If I only have 3 and the currency strength meter is going against that, that takes me down to 2. So I'm not taking that trade unless I have 3 points. It does. If I have 4 points and the currency strength meter is going against that, that takes me down to 3. So I still will take that trade. So it's not like the currency strength meter is the end all be all. It's just for me. It's just like that. It's just a point system.
Okay. Perfect,
All right,
brother. Hey,
Ronnie.
appreciate that.
Good. Question I have for you, Matty. On your arrow, is that part of the fractal arrow or arrow that you created?
It's all done from stuff that I inputted. So I told these guys where I'd want to take certain trades. And what they did in the software on the back end is they put all those details in. I sent them a very detailed list of everything that I look for. And those arrows are doing that in the background. There's other indicators behind the scenes that are running that you don't see. Because I wanted it to look simple and be simple, to where it could just come down to 3, 4, 5 points, and that's it. Because if I gave everybody the template on TradingView, man, that screws people up. Because unless you truly know what you're doing, man, you're going to be taking calls and puts, and you're going to be like, why is this thing continuing to go up when it's telling me to put, and I'm getting all the indicators for put, and I'm like, what is going on right now? For instance, like if I share my screen again here, like this whole time right here, this Bollinger Band's moving up, but this whole time, all of this was up and could have been given puts. And this whole time you could have been like, so why does it keep telling me to put when it just keeps going up? So I used to give out my strategy before I gave it to IM, and they made it a product. And man, people would be like, dude, I get caught in these rollover trades like crazy because it just keeps going up and riding the Bollinger Band, or it keeps going down and riding the Bollinger Band. So whatever they did software-wise, I'm very happy because it's very precise. And I use Cash App on my own sessions now.
That's awesome.
Now, I would lie to you if I said that I didn't have at least the strategy up on another screen so I can see a more detailed. I mean, I use both. You know, I like to be transparent with people. I'm the type of person that I like to put all the information out there instead of, you know, holding anything back from people.
Nice. Well, I appreciate you, Matt, jumping on the call, brother. If there's any way I could ever repay you, do a training for your team, if there's anything that you need from me, let me know. I have no problem jumping on a call, sometimes a different voice. I will help train your team, and that's on the network side. I know how to build. I can build anything. I can't read charts too well. I'm learning at that. But I appreciate.
Yeah, if I get you or Brandon on a Wednesday night mentorship call, we got Matt Rosa tonight, but if we could get you guys on another call, that would be amazing.
I'm in. Say no more. I know Brandon will be willing to, and I will for sure devote that. I will take the time and I will make that happen 100%. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And guys, thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon.
Everybody turn their camera on real quick. I want to take a little pic.
Yeah, everybody turn your cameras on. Cameras on.
Let's go.
There we go. Ron, Brian, cameras.
Raider Nation, baby. Hey, thank you, Maddie.
All right, guys. Peace out.
Thank
Thanks, Matt.
you.
Peace.